I'm from Nekota and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Stanley Girdler and I'm from Australia, but I'm part Fijian from Watraki, and I love listening to Today FM Rocks.
For the best music and less talk, we tune into Today FM in Nasalai Village. Today FM rocks.
My name is Inay Ali and I'm from Ba, and I love the big breakfast on Today FM. I just love it and hope you love it too.
My name is Jay from La Paz. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Naushin and I'm from Sambeto, and I love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Good evening, I'm Amrita Priyadarshini and this is FBC News. Tonight, flood damage bill stands over $10 million. Prime Minister visits flood-affected areas. And residents start clean-up in Rewa Delta. The National Disaster Management Office has put the initial cost of damage from Tropical Depression 04F at $10.7 million. DISMEC Director Akapusi Tuifangalele says initial damage reports has the Fiji Roads Authority reporting an $8.4 million loss to the infrastructure, with the Water Authority of Fiji coming in with $1.8 million.
Widespread flooding across the Central and Western Division has already put the damage bill into double digits.
The Water Authority, as I mentioned yesterday, 1.8 million. FEA have come up with 250,000. The Fiji Roads, 8.5 million.
Tuifangalele says the impact on agriculture is expected to be significant, with severe crop damage only 10 months post-Winston.
Restoration work in Singatoka continues, and there has been severe damage to farms along the Singatoka River. Water is receding in Navua, and likewise too in Nosuri, and although some homes were inundated.
And while there's a heavy rain warning still in place for some parts of the country, the focus now moves to recovery and rehabilitation.
The Ngamea landslide, the MV Dangivo, has been deployed yesterday to collect supplies from Sabu, and also the damage assessment teams to go to Ngamea in Tabioni. The damage assessments are continuing to be undertaken.
While the depression didn't develop into a cyclone, the damage that it's left in its wake could be of cyclonic proportions. Current damage bill is estimated at $10.7 million. That figure over the next 2 weeks is expected to be revised upwards. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama has told the villagers in Wailotua in Wainimbuka to start cleaning up following the massive flooding which affected their areas. Bainimarama today visited Wainimbuka to see firsthand what transpired during the massive floods. Melita Vanga with the details.
More than half of the houses in Wailotua village was submerged by floodwaters. Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama, while speaking to the villagers of Wailotua, urged the families to look after themselves.
Stories have been going around about the recent flooding. I'm very concerned with the children, especially babies during this weather spell, and I hope you will take care of yourself and your family.
The police and the National Flood Authority officers have stepped in to help in trying to clear out mud and other debris from the area. An evacuee says they were very grateful for the Prime Minister's visit to see firsthand the situation on the ground.
My fridge and my house was destroyed because no one in the village helped me saving my stuff. I'm really thankful for the presence of the Prime Minister today to witness what we are going through.
Another evacuee says they will return to their home once the cleanup is completed.
Maybe next week, after we do our cleaning up, then I will return back home.
More than 14 households in Wailotua village are still sheltering in 3 evacuation centers that is provided in the village, and hoping assistance will arrive in a timely manner. Melita Vanga, FBC News.
Plans by villagers of Nasautoka in Wainimbuka to spend Christmas with their loved ones in their village has been shattered due to the devastation caused by the floods. Melita Vanga visited the village today and reports that the villagers were still trying to recover from tropical cyclone Winston when the recent floods hit them again.
The devastation of the recent flood was nothing short of devastation for the village of Nasautoka.
I just want to go down the water bottle now. I left over so that will fit. Not like mine there. The level of the road is down. The water went up.
A villager says they now have to survive on whatever they have left.
Our house, our kitchen and our bakery were destroyed, but we're lucky to save some stuff and move it with us to the evacuation center.
According to the villagers in Nasautoka, the hall behind me was totally submerged yesterday when the flood hits them.
I was on my way back from my farm when I noticed that the Wailuto River is rising, and I told the villagers to start packing and move to higher ground. A total of 24 houses were submerged.
According to the villagers, they were doing their usual Christmas cleanups and preparation when floodwaters came into the village. Meli Tabanga, FBC News.
Now, the Health Ministry is closely monitoring the aftermath of the recent flooding and urging Fijians to be aware of flood-affected goods. Minister Rosie Akbar says it is the responsibility of consumers to purchase safe and acceptable goods to avoid foodborne illnesses and diseases. Kelly Vidala reports.
Operation Kakana is a nationwide initiative that will ensure there is fair and safe trading food practices in the aftermath of TD04F.
Consumers again need to be very vigilant in what they choose to buy, and probably for traders, we would expect they do not engage in practices where they put the health and safety of our people at risk over profits. If things have to be discarded, the onus lies on the traders to discard those products that are not satisfactory for human consumption.
Health Permanent Secretary Philip Davis says safe food handling should also be considered.
Bringing food home from the shops, don't let it get hot, especially if it's perishable food. When you get it home, keep it cool, cook it thoroughly. Is if food has been frozen and it's thawed, you should never refreeze it again.
According to the ministry, Operation Kakana will be operational 24 hours a day and consumers can launch their concerns.
This operation is mainly targeted during odd hours and after hours and weekends where we see a lot of crude practices in the field. So this is where we are coming in.
Akbar says traders who breach the Food Safety and Act regulations will be prosecuted and fined up to $50,000. Kelly Vathala, FBC News.
Floodwaters in Coronivia and Sewanee receded to some extent today as people took advantage of the sunshine to clean their homes. While the danger is clear for many, for some they are still stuck in the flood-affected areas. Rohit Deo with the story.
While the sun brought smiles to many faces today, this road in Coronivia is still flooded.
The water level is slowly going down. My house is at the back and there is about knee-height water level near my house. There is water and mud inside my house. I am waiting for the water to recede so that I can clean my house.
There are no bus services from here and people have been finding it difficult to get to work and town.
Root crops of cassava and dalo have been damaged. I also had in my farm pumpkin, cabbage and the other vegetables like okra. It would be nice if we get some help as this is where we get our money from.
Some roads in Sewanee remain flooded, but otherwise people in this area also made use of the good weather to clean their compounds today.
I thought we won't be able to survive. I still can't believe that I am alive.
This has been the situation here at Coronivia Road leading up to the Lukia settlement since Saturday. Residents around here say Christmas this year will be a lot different from past years.
We will have to adjust somehow. It wouldn't be in a big way like last year, but we will have to manage somehow. We do not know whether we will have anything for Christmas as our farm has been destroyed. It will be very difficult for us.
The flooding in the past 4 days is being described as the worst ever.
It was like a sea. I had never seen anything like this. I have asthma and it was really hard for me to see a flood like this. I couldn't do anything but stay inside my house.
While the threat of flood is over for now, people in Sewanee and Coronivia have felt the full brunt of flash flooding. They can only hope now that what transpired in the last 5 days will not be repeated.
Rohit Dev, FBC News.
Coming up on FBC News, Suva fire kills one. And Fiji Airways announces a new route. Stay with us.
May nakaulebu na kiyala tilebu au saborong tunga en radio Fiji One nando may biti na po ang ganbiyan yato.
Ebi nakabeyaw radio Fiji One nando may biti na po ang ganbiyan na evangolite ay rakiraki.
Kay mami na marama ni Northland. Kay mami daw talenta ka na radio Fiji One nando may biti na po ang ganbiyan yato.
Na radio Fiji One nando may biti na po ang ganbiyan yato.
Welcome back to FBC News. People living along Ratukandavulevu Road in Nosori and nearby villages had massive floodwaters affect them over the past 3 days. 5 villages have been affected by floodwaters, roads are still closed, and people are not able to move out of their areas. Pranita Prakash reports.
Around 1,000 people living in these areas have been badly affected as a result of floodwaters.
Started to experience flooding from last week and are hoping water levels will recede quickly.
Another resident says flooding has affected the livelihood of many farmers, and this will also have a major impact on the Christmas plans.
Food crops are severely affected. Like most people are relying on food crops for Christmas, not to go to the market and get their shopping for Christmas. I think that is something that are really affected.
This blockage is the reason given by villagers, which has caused flooding in 5 nearby villages. Residents are hopeful that this will be cleared by relevant authorities soon.
Floodwaters have started to recede in other areas in Nosori. People are taking advantage of the fine weather and cleaning up their houses. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Flooding along the Rewa Delta and surrounding areas is expected to take its toll on business in Nosori in the coming days. A number of areas are still affected by floodwaters and making it difficult for people to come into town to shop as we lead up to Christmas this weekend. Pranita Prakash once again with this report.
Businessman Motilal says people will now prioritize their expenses.
So this effect will come slowly to the business people. And what I see from past experiences is what priority people will give now.
Similar sentiments were shared by the managing director of Taras Supermarket.
The business has been down for that whole week because of the bad weather, but should be picked up in these 2 or 3 days' time for the Christmas.
For many, the devastating floods have affected their Christmas plans.
Food in the market and the price will go up.
That is back to normal, but people are not very happy due to the flooding.
Some of us will be homeless. Many will go without food, especially those living in the low-lying areas.
People are now waiting for flood waters to fully recede, as this is affecting the livelihood of many people who are stuck in their homes. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Prices of vegetables in various markets are expected to increase from early next week. Deputy Permanent Secretary for Agriculture, Uraya Waimbuta, says this is due to vegetables and root crops being destroyed by recent floodwaters. Anna Ravulo has more.
Members of the public can expect the increase in price and also shortage of vegetables and root crops for next month.
So, sure, shortage of vegetables should be realized immediately within this week and early next week. But as part of the long term, again, all those matured crops on the ground, especially cassava and nalo, people were looking forward to harvesting it for Christmas and getting it into the market. But some of those matured crops, because of the stagnant water, had totally destroyed. But this is something that we will have to really confirm once our people from the field have returned on the detailed survey.
A farmer from Waila Fira Road in Nosori says he lost his whole farm in the flood.
As you can see there, my farm is right behind there, and now it's there. All the crops are underwater, like cabbage, belly, and mostly dalo. They are now all underwater.
Another farmer from Kornivia shared the same sentiments.
Especially food crops, especially damage the food crops and other plants we planted on the other side.
Waimbutha says they are now collaborating with Commissioners Central and West to locate all the damages to food crops and focus on the areas that needs more attention than others. Anna Ravulo, FBC News.
More than $300,000 worth of cigarettes were smuggled into the country on Monday. Minister for Health and Medical Services Rosie Akbar says the matter is before the court.
These cigarettes were circulated and believe were sold as well, and we are yet to establish how it came into the country. Any illicit trade in tobacco is a threat to national security and undermines the rule of law.
A man is dead following a fire that destroyed a 3-flat corrugated and wooden house and partially destroyed a 3-bedroom double-story concrete house at Yarawa Road in Nambua last night. The National Fire Authority confirms the 23-year-old victim was trapped inside his wooden and corrugated iron flat. The owners of the property and families of the victim were too shaken and distraught to talk to FBC News. Witnesses claim that the man's wife was visiting neighbors in the same compound and had taken the keys with her. It is alleged the door to the flat was locked from the outside with a padlock. NFA and police officers have begun the investigation. Fiji Airways will commence twice weekly direct services to Nadi from Adelaide from June 30th next year. Ritika Pratap reports this will give South Australians direct access to Fiji and will also act as a gateway to the United States via Nadi.
The new direct services to Adelaide will be the 4th Australian leg for Fiji Airways after Sydney, Brisbane and Melbourne. Diversifying the Australian market has been a goal of the airline for some time, as many Australians fly to Fiji every year.
Fiji Airways FJ961 Nandi to Adelaide will depart at 4:30 p.m. and arrive in Adelaide at 8:30 p.m. It will then depart from Adelaide back to Nandi as FJ960, and it will depart at 10 p.m. and arrive here the next morning at 5:35 a.m.
Andre Fillion says the new service will be good news for the sizable Fijian community living in South Australia.
We are not only giving South Australians a chance to fly direct to Fiji, we are offering them a connection to Los Angeles, San Francisco, as well as Pacific Island countries like Samoa, Tonga and Vanuatu, all via Nandi.
Civil Aviation Minister Ayasayed Kayum says this will further enhance Fiji's footprint in new ways beyond the eastern seaboard of Australia.
As a tourism destination, we need to constantly be thinking about how we need to think outside the box. We need to constantly be able to manage those risks that come with new destinations, but be able to take those risks in a concerted effort.
Flights are now available for sale. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
External examination provisional results for Year 12 was released today. Minister for Education Dr. Mahendra Reddy says the results are quite pleasing, as 61% of the 12,685 students who sat for the exams passed. Dr. Reddy says because of Cyclone Winston, many students, teachers and the school infrastructure were severely affected. He acknowledges all the stakeholders in the cyclone-ravaged zones and commends them for their continued commitment. Now to sports, and Jamie with the latest.
Thanks, Amrita, and good evening. Up ahead, Flying Fijians set plan to qualify as top Pacific team. And Netball Under-21s to play 3 international friendlies next month. We'll have this and more after the break.
I'm Dori from Nasinu Market. My choice is simple, Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
My name is Yvonne. I'm from Nandi. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Sayandra, my name is Sunny. Only the Gold FM at Golden Point Resort, Raki Raki.
Hi, I'm Anna of Nasinu. When it comes to a radio, my choice is always Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Anna and I'm from Nandi. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Vodafone Flying Fijians coach John McKee has set his plans to qualify as the Pacific's top team for the 2019 World Cup in Japan. McKee says,
very important program for us. I think an opportunity for us to play really well, and our main focus must be to secure that Rugby World Cup qualification position, and really, our target is to qualify as Pacific number one.
The Fiji Netball Under-21s will play 3 friendly matches in the second week of January before they round up preparations for the World Youth Championships. Fiji will play defending youth champs Australia as well as New Zealand and Samoa in the Digicel Punjab's International Youth Series, which will be held from the 11th to the 14th of January at the Vodafone Arena in Suva. The French Rugby Federation has announced that it will no longer select non-French players for its national team. Fijian wings Nonai Katadi and Virimi Vakatawa will remain eligible to represent France, but other foreign-born players will not be allowed to follow suit. The French Rugby. In a season of ups and downs, the Wellington Phoenix feel the decision to bring back all-white striker Shane Smeltz is a good sign for the club. The former A-League Golden Boot winner looked right at his peak in his first practice with Fijian striker. That's sports for this evening. It's back to Amrita now with business.
Christmas has come early for the airport's Fiji Limited staff. AFL has today announced a bonus payout of approximately $741,000 for this year. 518 staff will get their bonuses by Friday. 82% of the payout will go to the non-management staff. Public Enterprise Minister Ayaan Syed Qayyum says this has been made possible at the back of AFL's strong financial performance.
Previously, the bonuses that were paid out to AFL staff was based on a percentage of your salary. So if you had 5% of the bonus was paid, and if your salary was only $10,000, then obviously your bonus was only $500. So what the board has decided is that all non-management staff that earn between $8,000 and $20,000 will get at least a bonus of $1,000. Those up on the next rung will get at least a bonus of $1,500.
Clear sunny spells with humid conditions was the order of the day in most parts of the nation. The north experienced few showers. Well, temperatures were mostly in the lower 30-degree range in most centres, while Mombasa was the coolest at 29. For tomorrow, bright sunny spells is likely to develop in the eastern areas of Fiji, while the north can expect few passing showers. Looking ahead to Friday, conditions are likely to remain sunny around the country. However, the north can expect cloudy conditions with patchy outbreaks of light to moderate rain. At sea, northeast to northwest winds 20 to 25 knots with gusts of up to 35 knots. Rough seas are expected as well. Recapping the main stories, flood damage bill stands at over $10 million. Prime Minister has toured flood-affected areas, and residents have started clean-up in the Rewa Delta. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. Now to our poll question. This week we ask, do drainage issues need immediate attention? To answer, visit our FBC website. You can also send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News. If you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us those news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That was FBC News for tonight. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini, and we leave you with some shots gathered by our journalist and cameraman during the height of the flooding around Fiji in the past week. Good night.
ये सिमस्टर ये राइट फ्रॉम द रकीरेकी टाउन। और सुबह ब्रेकफास्ट शो में मैं सुनता हूँ, जब ब्रेकफास्ट शो में रहता है अश्नील और संगीता के साथ, किसी के साथ सुनते सुनते 11 से 2 भाभी जी का शो जितेन शामिल। यू नो समथिंग, रकीरेकी मिर्ची FM इज हॉट।
मैं हूँ श्वेता दुर्गुशा नर्सरी से। लोग देखते हैं ईद का चांद, लेकिन मेरा चांद तो मिर्ची FM है।
हमारा नाम जाबिर है, हम कोर्निविया नसोरी में रहता है। मिर्ची FM हम सब टाइम सुनता है। मिर्ची FM बहुत जुलूम है। मिर्ची FM इज हॉट।
Mirchi FM, it's hot.